I am incredibly tired because I stayed up very late because yesterday I watched all of the Fast and Furious films back to back.
All of them?
Well, I'll be honest, I fell asleep during 8 and I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
Did you honestly watch 8 films in a day? All of the same genre?
Yes. I think I'm going mad.
Give me 3 highlights of all 8 Fast and Furious if you were to go. I like the moment where Paul stares at the person in the passenger seat while shifting through gears at flat out.
Yeah, now
not looking
gear
at the
changing happens a lot in our world, doesn't it?
Frequent.
A lot of gear changing. To make a car go faster, you definitely need to change gear. It's not simply enough to accelerate, although when accelerating, always completely mash the throttle. And it will
doesn't always make the car quicker.
And it will make a... Well, particularly something on carbs, there's a risk it's going to just
It'll
bog
gasp.
down. Yeah.
It'll gasp like mad.
But it's funny how all of the throttle pedal assemblies in Fast World go when you accelerate hard, as do gear shifters.
Oh, lots of clunky metallic gear shifting.
It feels like there's a guy in the back with a shotgun going at the same time.
Yeah, because last time I checked, the Honda S2000, though a very, very good gear shifter.
Yes.
Sorry, I just weaved lanes
You're
there.
weaving a bit.
I'm tired, man.
One of my favourites of things that have happened in those movies is the moment when The Rock shoots a vending machine.
I don't even know. Which film was that? You don't even know. If you had to tell me which one it was.
I immersed myself in Fast and Furious world so heavily yesterday that when I finally went to bed at about 3 a.m, Yeah. I was on a heavy schedule, man. I had to do it. And I also had to put the kids to bed. There was a little gap. I had to get the kids from where they were.
I bet your wife just thought, and he classes this as a job.
She's amused by this one because she kept going, when are you going to do your Fast and Furious marathon? When are you going to do it? You've got to think about this. I'm like, I'm thinking about it, woman. I've been planning it. I've been strategising. And then I realised I was running out of time. I just had to get on with it.
Strategising?
So, well, because it's full Alan Partridge. It's like, I was going, I had to think, right, so it's, right, the kids are out of the house.
Yes, check.
The Fast and Furious, go. Cornflakes, hadn't had any breakfast. Bowl of cornflakes, cup of coffee, fast one. Get that gone.
Fast
to the kitchen, peanut butter on toast, a bit peckish, another cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Fast, too furious.
Too fast, that's it, too fast.
The one that's in Miami and hasn't got Vin Diesel in it.
I remember that one quite well because I was working for Max Power at the time. I also remember, I think it was one of the early scenes of the first film, the race scenes. Don't they play a remix of Strange Love by Depeche Mode?
I think they might.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
A lot of the
dun,
music
dun.
in those early films just sort of gives me flashbacks to going to iffy clubs in towns you've never been to before.
Iffy.
Just, yeah.
I love an iffy club. As long as it's not stabbing.
That's the thing, just an iffy club, you know. So you're on a stag do, or you've gone to see a friend back where they're from, and you're sort of like,
I love that.
I'm in a club called Chino's in Pontypridd or something. It's like, how did I get here? It's that full Talking Heads thing. How did I get here?
Yeah.
This is not my beautiful house.
I absolutely love that. On my stag do, we ended up in one of those in Hereford.
Ooh.
And the corner of the dance floor, I'm sure it was the dance floor, I mean, I was heavily intoxicated on Scrumpy. The corner of the dance floor was like a burger griddle. There was someone actually making cooked food, on the side of the dance floor. I remember it.
This reminds me of something. Stuff that keeps cropping up in Fast and Furious films, of which I've watched all of them now. That's weird, isn't it? What day is it today? Thursday? Wednesday?
No, it's Wednesday.
God. See, I've lost track of time.
That's what F&F does.
On Monday, I'd never seen a Fast and Furious film all the way through. I'd seen bits of them. Never seen all the way through. It's now Wednesday and I've seen all 8.
Do you feel enlightened? Do you feel like you've...
I feel like I've checked something off when people go to me now and go, because I'm quite bad at watching films. People go, you know that bit in, I don't know, Mission Impossible 4 or something, and I'll go, no, I haven't seen it.
No.
But it's worse when it's like, oh, you know that bit in, I don't know, The Usual Suspects, and I only saw The Usual Suspects like sort of 5 years after it came out.
I've never seen it.
Have you not?
No, so I'm one of them as well.
Yeah, and then people go, you know that bit in? So it was
12 Monkeys.
Yeah,
I've never seen 12 Monkeys.
Oh yeah, also I don't remember stuff. And it was particularly bad because I've worked for years with TV's Jeremy Clarkson, who's a covert cinephile.
Is he?
Yeah, he watches loads of films and he's got an unbelievably good memory for them.
Gosh.
And it's really, because he'll go, we'd be working on a script and he'd go, it's like that bit in the third Mission Impossible film. Okay.
Is he like...
What are you talking about? I don't think I've seen it. Which one's that? And he'd start describing it, and he'd describe it in so much detail you'd be able to go, yeah, I have seen it or I haven't.
Is he waiting for Kermo to have a funny turn?
It's so strange because he doesn't talk about it. He just doesn't. Like, he loves to talk about films,
a hobby.
but it's a hobby, yeah, and it's something that he just sort of. It's not even like music where he sort of famously, makes a thing out of that. He likes loads of 70s music.
Prog rock.
It's a part of his kind of on-screen and in-print persona. But the films is just like, it's just something he likes. But his knowledge is of sort of, popular movies of the last 40 years.
Popular movies of the last 40
popular,
years?
Yeah, like Mastermind, just popular movies. But he could probably do specialism, something silly like, the films of Scorsese or Michael Bay or something. Because he's just watched a lot of movies and can remember them. That's the bit. It's the remembering.
If I watch a really good film on a flight, which I did recently, I really enjoyed it, but yet I can't describe it to my wife. but I really enjoyed it.
Is that like when
ridiculous?
My wife goes, I'll tell you what song I like at the moment in the charts, because she still listens to Radio 1 in the car because she's trying to convince herself she's still young.
Yeah, and, I know this.
And she'll go, I really love that song in the charts. And I'll be like, I'm a bit out of touch now. She'll go, no, you will know this one because it's been played everywhere. I don't know what to go. She'll go, it goes,
that went right up, that did.
Are you sure? Yeah, it goes, no, it sounds like you changed it a bit. Well, it sort of goes like that, and the chorus goes, little books on your hair. And then finally, we'll be in the car together, and she'll go, it's that song. I'll go, this doesn't say that or go like that. What is your weird virtual memory of songs is so out of kilter. Speaking of which...
Oh, yeah, kilter.
Got in the car this morning, got in our Jag this morning, and because she'd been driving it was on Radio 1.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be bothered to change it, I was only taking the kids to school. This song came on I hadn't heard before, and some of the lyrics were, there's a U-shaped hole in my bed. There are U-shaped...
Hole?
Yeah, hole, or space in my bed, U-shaped bit of space in my bed. There, all the U-shaped bits in my head. And I realise it's U-shaped as in Y-O-U, and it's quite clever in a way.
Oh, you don't mean the tree?
Yeah, but I was like, well, what? Yeah, what? Like U-tree? Oh.
It's not a U-tree shaped hole in the bed. That I don't know. There's connotations to that.
That's, yeah, I wouldn't go.
I wouldn't.
But when I heard the line U-shaped bits in my head, I just thought about plumbing.
Oh, U-bends.
Yeah, and I was like, this is interesting. It's
elbow
a song
joints.
about plumbing. That's not been done before. And it was only when it had finished I suddenly went, oh, right, yeah, I get you now.
Imagine if they were thinking ahead though, and their bedroom was a long way from their bathroom, and they couldn't afford, or they weren't in a position to get an ensuite. So they're trying to fashion some sort of urine tube collector with a load of plumb centre elbows and U-bends, and it's like you just roll over in the middle of the night, and there's, like at the dentist where they go, just spit into that thing at the side of the chair.
How deeply lazy would you have to be?
Oh, I'm
to do that?
so lazy. I'm lazy.
I'm not writing it off. It's quite a good idea in a way.
Oh.
But then in another way, it's a bit...
I love it. I love the idea of it. It's really lazy, though.
You'd have to be confident in your plumbing so that you knew you weren't going to get a bit of run back.
Well, I would liken it. I would personally liken it to if you've ever had a hamster that lives in rotor stack.
Yeah.
And if you ever unscrew a part of the tubes, the fun tubes that they go. My mate used to have one, and one of his would habitually, urinate in this huge like walkway of tubing, and he used to forget, he'd unscrew it and it would just be a cascade of
a tube of
the most concentrated animal piss. It was so strong, and if it landed on any piece of clothing you'd have to incinerate it. That would be it. That would be it. It would be goodbye shirt, goodbye trousers. That is it.
There's nothing worse though, because I had this weekend just gone. I had a series of events that were not optimum, culminating in my children. We got home from somewhere, and it was a nice evening. And my children went out in the garden, and I failed to notice the dog had done a poo in the corner of the garden, and the kids managed to tread in it.
Oh no!
And one of them walked it back into the house.
Oh no, that's the worst.
So I immediately went into. My wife was out. I went into full, Tim Peake style, keep calm in an emergency sort of thing.
Yeah.
Calm voice, but manage this situation quickly and efficiently. And I sorted it out, but the problem with something like that is that then you spend the rest of the night convinced you can still smell dog shit.
Yeah, you, because the particles linger.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? But it's also, I think your brain just goes, remember that dog shit we smelled earlier on?
Yeah.
Have another bit of that.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is not the receptors talking, it's just me. I'm just reminding you. I know that you're supposed to have no memory of smells, but I do actually. I can remember shit and piss, and that's.
I
it's
did
awful.
exact. It is the. I fully sympathise. My first journalist job, I got back very late one night to a rented house that I was living in. The security light bulb had gone on the garden path, so I pulled all the camera gear in and unlocked the door, walked in the house, and I remember typically this rental house had very thick pile carpet, and I walked in to put my stuff down in the kitchen. You had to walk through the lounge to get to the kitchen, and then I was like, oh, I'm just going to run upstairs. I forgot what it was. I think it was only a toilet upstairs. I think it was a bathroom and toilet upstairs. Ran upstairs to have a wee because I've been on the road for ages, and as soon as I opened the bathroom and left, I was like, this smells like
There's
dog
shit
smell.
in this house.
The house has got mud in it, bad mud. And
Did you have housemates?
no, I lived with a girlfriend at the time.
You didn't have to do a sort of like where you just went around and punched all the lights on. I was like, emergency!
So I did. There was no one at home. I went back downstairs and I turned the lights on, and I suddenly realised exactly that. I have trodden. There was on the garden path, or the path outside my house, a dog had obviously just let a hovis out, and I just walked it completely in carpet that thick.
Oh, that's never coming out. Not
But you
really.
know when you just want to go to bed, and
Yeah,
then this
yeah,
now
yeah.
turns into an hour's clear-up operation with some, I don't know, 11 inches worth of wet wipes, I'm going to say. I mean, we're talking a lot of disinfectant
Yeah,
wet
you're
wipes.
getting through a whole kitchen roll.
A whole slab. Yeah, a whole kitchen
The
roll.
whole kitchen roll is going on that.
And swearing relentlessly, and also gagging because I can't stand the smell.
So going to bed and going, I think I cleared it all up. Why can I still smell shit?
Yeah, I'm sure I woke up the next morning convinced that I could still smell it.
So talking as I was about the things that linger on, I watched so much Fast and Furious yesterday that when I finally went to bed, I had at least one dream about the Fast and Furious. I feel like I've been in sort of immersion therapy, like, where they're trying to get me over an addiction to Fast and Furious, but I don't have one. I've been accidentally enrolled in the wrong thing.
You're the wrong demographic.
But
really,
I administered it to myself for the purposes of getting some magazine article out of it.
I think if you're of a certain age, like I was working on Max Power magazine when Too Fast, Too Furious came out.
Yeah.
And we got wind of the cars before they were launched, and it was fever pitch excitement.
So that's Too Fast, Too Furious is set in Miami, and there's an Evo, isn't there?
Yeah.
So they've all bled into one.
Well, yeah. My knowledge is not. But what I would say is, me personally, I was always a little bit too old to kind of see. It didn't have as much a profound effect on me as other people.
Yeah.
But I think for a certain group of people, if you and I were like 16 when Fast and Furious came out, or 15, that is their bullet. That's their bullet film.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So we can laugh and go, it's just all a bit trashy with the silly nitrous and all that stuff. But for a certain group of people, that is so iconic. It's Mad Max. That's my Mad Max. Okay, look at Mad Max. Mad Max came out the year I was born. I was a very young kid when I watched it, like 9. And I remember the supercharger being engaged. We now know that's total bobbins. That's not the way superchargers work. But nobody cuts that film down because the supercharger is silly. They just put it into cinematic.
Sort of take a holistic view of it and go, did I enjoy that film? Yeah.
And the film was fantastic, and there were real cars being really driven hard, and were real crashes. In the same way that Fast and Furious, there's not a great deal of CGI. In fact, the first and second ones, I don't think there is any.
And then I think they went a bit CGI, and it seems like in the later ones they pulled it back because a lot of that looks like practical effects. I think it's
Fast
big,
6 and 7. They bought hundreds. They built hundreds of cars.
Yeah.
So to its credit, it's a real car-heavy film. With escorts and Jensen interceptors and all kinds of stuff.
When the Interceptor turned up, I was like, holy moly, that's a bit rare groove. And they even get a little reference in it that I thought was quite good, car nerd reference, because Vin Diesel makes some little quip to I can't remember the characters' names now. Anyway, you know,
we'll just call them a different name. Mildred.
Bob. Yeah, Mildred. That's Mildred.
Yeah.
About he said something about you couldn't resist the American muscle or something like that, and it's like get Mr. Diesel.
He
referencing
knows.
the Chrysler V8 under the hood
knows.
of the Jensen there.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
I just liked it once The Rock turned up.
You like that bit?
Well, no, I just like The Rock because he's so preposterous.
Yeah.
And then he shoots a vending machine. At one point he goes, 560 ponies. And like you just go, oh, ponies. Oh, no, you sound like an idiot in a pub. What'll she do, mister?
The Rock doesn't go to pubs. What would The Rock drink in a pub?
I think he's one of those incredibly big, muscular blokes who then sort of would have like a half of lager or something.
And just
with lime.
get fully pissed.
Probably get really pissed on it.
Because he's got no body fat.
Yeah. It's like you're in the Lamb and Flag and there's The Rock and he's talking a bit too loudly. But he's your mate. You've taken him there, that's your pub, and now you've brought the bloody Rock in there. And initially everyone's like, oh my god, Jonathan, is that guy?
Oh yeah, it's The Rock.
He's coming back for loose. Just play it cool. Rock, mate.
Dwayne,
what do you want? And he doesn't. That's the thing, he doesn't go to pubs. So he's one of those people who then he has to sort of. He's looking with narrow and slightly
really
terrified eyes along the bar. He doesn't know.
Booze.
He knows. He's aware that there's etiquette in pubs and he might say the wrong thing. So he's playing it safe. He'll have a beer. Do you know what? He'd have a Budweiser, wouldn't he?
Would he have an American like Miller?
Yeah.
Or would he go craft beer because he's heard that that's a cool thing?
No, I think he'd.
Brewdog?
No. Well, God, I hope not, because they're quite strong sometimes.
Send him. I was going to say he'd go Luke.
Oh yeah, I'll have a. Yeah, I think his eye is caught by
He'd
a
start
blue
doing-
can, and he goes, "I'll have one of those." And it's one of those BrewDog punk IPAs. They're about 5% and a bit.
Yeah, and they look like cans of Sprite.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're not Sprite Rock. They're not.
And after his second one,
Horse poo, 50p. That's cheap.
I'll get some to walk into the carpet. His second one, he has another one because he's enjoyed the taste and he's enjoyed actually feeling a bit giddy.
Yeah.
And then he's starting to show off and he's crushing the cans with his hands.
Yeah.
But he's making a bit of a scene. And the evening culminates in The Rock falling off a bar stool and through a table, which he just crushes clean flat. And the landlord's like, all right.
That's enough.
We've enjoyed having the Hollywood celebrity Dwayne The Rock Johnson in here, but he's causing trouble and upsetting the regulars. Get him out! And then
I also think
you're having a kebab. You've gone to get some chips.
but the Rock's not gonna.
No, The Rock's outside.
Isn't he weighing up the protein levels? So he's
He's beyond that now. He's gone. His regime is out the window.
Right.
He's so rat-arsed, but he doesn't want chips because he's outside the chip.
Leaning on the wall.
People are taking selfies with him while he's bundering like a champion. Because he had a load of crisps in the pub, and again,
I love that. Can I just get a selfie while you're being sick?
that was
No, not now.
hey,
Just not.
great to
Amen.
meet you.
Ooh.
And when the
You know what
Rock's
he's been
sick,
doing?
he makes a hell of a noise as well.
It sounds like, you know, when you go to a steam rally, someone trying to start up a very complicated old machine, which you've never seen before, so you don't know if they're supposed to sound like that. And you go, well, it's obviously...
Is that all right, mate? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, it always does that.
Yeah.
She always does that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the Twattington Partridge Mark IV. You go, well, they all had a very distinct strike-up sequence.
Yeah, they'll always use some... they'll use some lingo that's unique to it as well. No, it's it's just spooning out slightly. It's just spooning out. It'll ladle on a little bit and then it'll be fine.
Ladle?
You know, why? I don't understand these words used in this context. She's fine. Just you know, she's just a bit nipsy at the moment, but it's okay.
Nipsey.
Steam lingo. I bet there's loads of it.
Imagine if Dwayne The Rock turned up at a steam rally on one of the, you know, the big showman's wagons with all of the lights around the eaves, like Weymouth. Or is it Dorset Steam Rally? He turns up at Dorset Steam Rally with a grubby cap on and a singlet covered in coal.
It turns out he's had traction engines for years.
No, they're filming. They're going to do a Fast and Furious involving
Slow and Furious. It's like
no slow and what? Be slow and satisfied.
Inspired by the life of Fred Dibner.
Yeah, would it be slow and kind of?
I think there's such a wonderful opportunity for a photo of the Rock, line of traction engines, all doing that. There's lots of steam coming out.
Purging. Lots of purging. Yeah. But you know, it was a white vest, and now there's so much coal dust on it. There's loads of it, and it's one of those wrestler ones where it's a little slack under the arms.
Oh dear!
The likes of you and I would never wear a vest.
You couldn't
pay me to wear a vest
unless you're the Rock.